islands, beaches, and neighborhoods as a travel destination to targeted domestic and international visitors, including vacationers and business travelers. She's responsible for the strategic planning of the domestic and international and marketing efforts, along with overseeing the day-to-day operations of the organization. Tamara previously served as a project manager and deputy director at the Bureau. She's a graduate of Florida State University, holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Economics and Political Science and a Master of Science degree in Political Science. Her experience includes work as a research analyst, vice president of local research companies, analyzing the economic feasibility of local developments and business opportunities. And in 2015, Tamara earned the tourism industry's highest educational achievement, the Certified Destination Management Executive designation from Destination Marketing Association International. And we're so excited to have Tamara here, and she said she's never spoke to this group before, so it's Tamara's turn.
It's not very often that I have not spoken to a group in Lee County. So I am very excited to be here today. Thank you, Melanie, for inviting me, and thank you to each of you for showing up this morning. I hope I provide some interesting things for you to learn about. Most people, you live on this island and you know tourism drives your economy. Most of you came here as a visitor, or maybe your parents brought you here as a small child as a visitor. And eventually you said, no, I can never leave this special place because I love it here. And they worked with someone just like yourself to buy a house, right? It's a pretty amazing experience. I always say every economic development trip, every relocation trip, every connection with a new community begins with a visit. So it is a big economic driver. So the Visitor and Convention Bureau, and we shorten that because that is a mouthful, to VCB, but then we have a Tourist Development Council, or a TDC, and then there's the Board of County Commissioners, BOCC. We have a lot of acronyms. And people sometimes are a little bit confused. Are you with the TDC or are you with the VCB? So the Board of County Commissioners hires a county manager. We are a department of county government. I report into the county manager's office to one of the assistant county managers. The Tourist Development Council is an advisory board appointed by the Board of County Commissioners, and I look at them as my board of directors. So they have regular meetings, but they are volunteers, they are not compensated, and they are not staff. They're there. And your representative, well, you have several of them, quite frankly. The city of Sanibel has a representative on the TDC, that's Vice Mayor Holly Smith. And then also Tony Lappy serves on the TDC. And over the years, you've had several other members, but those are your two current members who serve on the TDC. The VCB, as I said, is a Department of County Government. We're the lead marketing agency for Lee County. No one in the county does marketing in the way that we do. And really, our efforts are designed to hook them and bring them into the county so that they can spend their money while they're here. Tourism is big business. We promote the area as Fort Myers, islands, beaches, and neighborhoods. And I know that probably, is a little, why don't we use the name Sanibel? And I get it, and Bonita says the same thing, and Cape Coral says the same thing. It's all about flights. About 80% of our visitors fly to the destination. When you book your flight on JetBlue, United, American, Breeze, you're booking to Fort Myers. And so it's the hook, that's it. We promote the whole destination, every area, and we're super proud of our effort. Why do we do this? It's big business. About 3.2 million visitors to Lee County in 2022. They spent $3.1 billion. That's direct expenditure, no multiplier. We collected about $44 million in bed tax from them. And the total economic impact, when you think about what those dollars in our community do, is just under $5 billion. Of course, proudly, all those numbers are up, but keep in mind, we all know what happened in 2023, right? So 2023 was a very difficult year because most of these numbers are fiscal year numbers. Hurricane Ian, of course, happened right at the end of the county's fiscal year, September 28, 3 years ago. So our 2023 numbers were dismal. And tourism doesn't just generate this visitation effort or this marketing effort. It creates a lot of things in our community. And this is how, in my opinion, tourism benefits our local community from a resident standpoint. We use those tourist tax dollars to enhance our beaches, to enhance our parks. It creates jobs. It pays for our spring training facilities. It supports events and attractions. Flights. But for tourism, you would not have 74 direct flights from RSW. You have a rich, very highly respected airport, a top 50 in the country airport because of our tourism. It helps local businesses. Many of the businesses in this room, one way or another, derive the income from the tourism industry, of course, and we are using some of those tourist tax dollars to support our hurricane recovery. But the number one benefit of tourism is we have no state income tax in Florida. Florida is a tax-free income state 100% because of the tourism that comes here. And from a local standpoint, tourism, in essence, subsidizes about $1,000 from every resident's tax bill. So let's talk about where tourist tax revenue's been and maybe where I think we're going. Again, tourist tax, we charge a 5% fee on every short-term accommodation stay. That could be a VRBO, it could be a condo rented for 3 months. It could be a hotel room, and they pay it 5% in addition to the 6.5% sales tax here in Lee County. I'll explain how those dollars are used exactly in a minute. But our last, I guess I'll say, normal year, and I don't know that it was a real normal year, was 2019. We had some challenges in 2018. You'll remember that terrible red tide. We had a little bit of a hangover from that red tide for sure in the summer of 19. And then, of course, the pandemic hit us, really shut things down in March of 20. So you see that dip in tourism in 20. And then we were the free state of Florida. Florida was open. The rest of the world was shut down. You couldn't go to Europe. You couldn't go to the Caribbean. You couldn't go on a cruise. And guess where they came? Florida. And we benefited. And you see those huge jumps in bed tax revenue. And of course, the visitor expenditure was up, visitation, all the numbers across the board were really up. And then, of course, Ian. So you see that huge drop, 45%, biggest drop in bed tax in the history of Lee County. And just devastating blow to our tourism industry. As you know, devastated this island, devastated Fort Myers Beach. Every coastal community in Lee County was impacted one way or another. I live inland, I have water in my house. We all experienced this storm. I have 33 staff people, and I think out of our staff, 2 people were not impacted by the storm. And we live all throughout the county. So happened everywhere, and we know how devastating it was to this community. Slowly but surely, we're building back. FY25 is fiscal year to date. I think we'll land about $47 million for this fiscal year, which will end September 30th. That's through June. We have 3 months of collection to go. That is a little bit less than we budgeted for. We had budgeted, obviously, I just combined them, and apologies. I call it Hilton, Helene and Milton. Hilton, which I'm not sure the Hilton Hotel Corporation would be happy with me for that, but I'm going to do it anyway. They came so close together. It was so back to back, I don't think we could catch our breath. And of course, that set us back. We had a number of condo properties right here on the island that were very close to opening and did not get to open because of the impacts of that storm. And I had budgeted, honestly, thinking that we would get those units back. I thought we were going to have a really strong beginning of 2025. And of course, we got another kick. But we're tough. We'll get through this. The good news is many of those properties are now either have opened or getting closer to opening. Eric and I were talking, and I think Eric and I have the same philosophy. I try not to curse much from the podium, but GSD, right? GSD, let's get it done. And I know we all want everything to be done and life to be back to normal, but the reality is we had a severe blow, and I think, something honestly most of us had not experienced, and it takes time. And my girlfriends from college, we always get together at least every other year, and we had a trip planned in November, right after Ian hit, and I decided that I would go on that trip. I think I'd worked about, like all of you, about 60 straight days at that point, and so I took that weekend and went off with my girlfriends, and one of them said, "Was it your worst nightmare?" And I said, "No, it's 10 times worse than my worst nightmare." I didn't think what happened could happen. I didn't think we would lose all our coastal assets from one tip of the county to the other. We've all lived through other storms. We saw what they did, but of course none of us expected what happened. So we had a significant loss in accommodations, and this is particularly talking about hotel rooms, so keep that in mind. Condos are a lot harder to get your arms around. They're a rental sometimes, but they're not always a rental. So we really track the hotel rooms over the condos. But you can see Sanibel Island, in our estimation, John's numbers are always, John Lai from the Chamber has a little bit different numbers. He counts some of the interval ownerships in his, and I don't count them in mine. Just a little bit different way of doing it, but I show you about 50, just over 54% reopened. And at Fort Myers Beach, you see 53%. So those are our two biggest assets. Those historically have been the communities that collected the most bed tax. So, until we have more units on our coastline, we are going to continue to struggle with our tourism industry a little bit. But I believe in us, and I know we're going to get things going. So really excited about what happens next. Because I'm in a room with a bunch of people who sell things, I always give a list of the hotel sales. And so this is basically since April of 24 through June. Actually, I don't think anything closed in July, but you can see, oh, wait a minute, sorry, wrong, apology. I got ahead of myself. This is the hotels that have opened since 2024. It started in April, and we opened about 719 rooms. And not that I don't love a new hotel room, but it's not where I want them to be. Most of those are along I-75, and they're all inland. We need to get our coastal properties going. You guys are ahead of the game there. You have 2 properties under construction. We'll talk about that in a minute. Fort Myers Beach does not have a single accommodations property under construction, so it will be very exciting when they get going. They have a number of projects, but they have not started any. So when you're hearing, "Oh, we're behind Fort Myers Beach," or whatever that conversation is, that's not accurate in every area. It doesn't mean it's not a competition, first of all. Keep going, everybody keep going, but things go at a different pace, and some of those projects, of course, are a lot bigger, which are more challenging. So here's the sold slide, and apologies. Just so you can see, and I don't expect you to read this, but guess what? We've provided a copy of the PowerPoint and a PDF of it. You'll be able to download it after and go through all this great data if you so choose. I am a data junkie, so I like data, and apologize for giving you a lot of it. But it's good info for later for sure. So a number of hotel sales, again, a mix of inland and coastal sales, but you can get an idea for what those sales look like. So I told you we collect this bed tax. We divide that bed tax into 3 pots. This is a decision by the Board of County Commissioners on how they are going to allocate the tourist development tax. There is a state statute that guides the uses of tourist development tax. We cannot spend it to pave Periwinkle Parkway. That's not an eligible use, as an example. Very, very specific uses. So in Lee County, the way we spend our bed tax is we use a little more than half of, and we're the government, so we like, decimal points, and nothing's on, if it was me, it'd be nice, perfect numbers, but it's not nice, perfect numbers. 53.6% goes to our market effort, so slightly more than half. And I'll show you what that marketing effort looks like. Little more than a quarter goes to our beach and shoreline programs. Sanibel and Captiva are big beneficiaries from our beach and shoreline program. A lot of tourist tax dollars come back into this community to take care of your beaches and your beach park facilities and renourishment on Sanibel. And then, of course, 20% pays the debt service on the 2 spring training facilities. So that's how the bed tax is divided. $1 comes in, 53 cents comes over here, 26 cents goes over there, and 20%, they literally go into pots and they pay the bills that way. So I mentioned the beach and shoreline program. So this is 10 years worth of allocations. Sanibel and Captiva, over almost $34 million allocated back to this community from the beach and shoreline program. Again, beach renourishment, beach park facilities, boardwalks, all the boardwalks, the city oversees those programs. They do it, we reimburse them for those expenses out of the tourist tax. We also have an attractions marketing program, and this area has received just a little under $1 million through that program in that 10-year period. And then last but not least, we have an events marketing program. This is for out-of-area marketing for events. We want people to, my job is heads in beds, and so we want people who are going to stay overnight. So if you have a multi-day event, you would be eligible potentially for some out-of-area marketing dollars through this program, and some of your local community organizations have taken advantage of that. So those are the 3 funding programs in addition to our big marketing effort. A little bit of visitor data. This is 2024 data. We do an annual report, but we also do quarterly reports, and I'll give you the email, the web address for this in just a minute. Our average visitor to Lee County is 51 years old. Median household income, $107,000. In fairness, that's median, lots higher and lots lower. And remember, a lot of retirees come here, so of course that does moderate the income a bit. They are married, they are college educated, and they are white primarily. So that's an overview of them. Where do they come from? Probably where you're from. I almost bet every single one of you is from the Midwest, Northeast, or the South. The growth of the Western market is directly related to air service. And when I came to the Bureau, I'm not gonna say how many years ago, I was in kindergarten, that would have been like 1%, 2% from the West. But with direct flights into Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, over the years, and of course Denver, we see that growth in the Western market, and we're super excited about it. As air service development goes, so does tourism. Again, I told you 80% of our visitors fly here. No flights, no visitors. More flights, more visitors. It's the way it works. Northeast is off a little bit since the pandemic. They were much more hesitant to travel. Remember, different rules in different areas, people's reaction to the pandemic different, but we're still building back. Florida off, that would have been a stronger number pre all of this interestingness the last 5 years. Florida would have been closer to 10% of our visitation. Our Floridians, our in-state market knows what's going on better than some of us do. They pay very close attention to what's going on, how quickly we're rebuilding, whether their favorite condo on Sanibel is open yet or not. And they've been a little bit hesitant. So we continue to drive home when businesses come back online, but they want to make sure that their experience is going to be top notch, and I think we're getting really close. I was really excited when we crossed that 50% threshold, because that's a big point, right? And so I think you're going to see this winter coming up stronger. And I do this, right? And this, and whatever you do, I can cross anything, legs, toes, eyes. We need a quiet fall, we do. If any of you were in the vacation rental business, or anybody in the room is involved in the hotel industry, you know that bookings for winter are soft. They are waiting to see what happens this fall. They want to know that we have a good winter and things are sound and they can come back. I promise you, once we get past hurricane season, they will book. Guess what? It's going to snow. And when it snows, they will come. That's just the way it is. And I'm sorry. I pray for brutal winters every single year. And I bet some of you do in your business too. The colder it is, the better it is for us. And so my husband told me, you're not that good at it. It doesn't snow here. And I said, it doesn't snow in LaBelle. We got a lot more people that come to this area. People want to be on the coast. It's magic. You know that. You're here. That's why you're here. We all know that what we have is magical. And that experience, I call it the shoulder drop experience. When you drive across the causeway, your shoulders drop. It's like, I don't know if you've had a blood pressure cuff on everybody when they came over, what percentage of them would have more than a 5-point drop, but I bet it's pretty darn high. That is, it's like, that is nirvana, right? They can't wait. And thank goodness we deliver on a great experience here, because that is what keeps them coming back again and again. And the ones that haven't come back, they can't wait to come back, I promise you. And I saw it during the pandemic. There was I'm going to use this as an example. This doesn't apply to Sanibel, but it doesn't matter. It's the same feeling. There's a couple from Germany that always went to the Outrigger. They love the tiki bar. During the pandemic, they built a tiki bar in their backyard in Germany. Made the sign and everything. They couldn't wait to get back. They are dreaming of coming back here, I promise you. So just keep going. Doing what you're doing, getting things rebuilt, they will be back. International visitation off since the pandemic. Air service is part of that challenge, especially our flights from Germany. I don't like to criticize, but the Discover flights have not performed as well as we would like. They have not been as consistent. And German travelers want the trains and the planes to run on time. That's the way it's supposed to be. We need better, consistent service out of Discover Airlines, and fingers crossed that they can find their way. I was super excited when their affiliation with Lufthansa got stronger, but it has not panned out exactly the way I wanted to. And again, it's a timing thing. Hopefully, they can get more planes that they are 100% in control of instead of ones they're borrowing from other airlines. But if they can be consistent, we will see our German travelers come back. They too love this area. We all know what's going on in the international market. Here's my only advice. I really stay out of politics. I am Switzerland. I work for a county government, and I do not, I have an opinion that I use when I go to do my ballot, but I do not talk about it. When you speak to your elected officials, we all want strong borders. Everybody wants us to be safe and have strong borders, but we also want our international visitors to come back to our community. These are people who are trusted visitors. We have visa waiver program countries. Let's just make sure that we focus our energy in the right area. We cannot look at all international visitors as the big X. And we need to remember that our friends in other countries are our friends, and speak to them with kind words and tell them how much we appreciate them. We want our Canadians to come back. They're a good neighbor and they're a good visitor. And so let's get them back in our community. I do, geopolitical issues I cannot control, neither can you, but I will say this. When it starts snowing, they will be back. If you like data and are an info like I am, you can go to leavecb.com statistics. We also have a dashboard. We work with a company called Tourism Economics. They are a great company, and they provide a lot of our data insights for us. And that dashboard is available to you, and it's on the website. No restrictions. So what do we do? VCB has kind of 6 areas that we focus on, and most of my conversation today is going to be about the ones on the left. But I am right now going to talk about the ones on the right. Visitor services. At the airport, we have over 125 volunteers who welcome guests to our SW. They might help you too. You might come off that come down the escalator and want to know which baggage claim is my plane going to be unloading on, and they'll give you that advice and help you if you need anything. But they're there to make our visitor experience more positive, and they do a fantastic job. They're primarily retirees, but they're retirees like you have on Sanibel. A lot of CEOs and CMOs and former airline executives, retired teachers and principals, really, really sharp, highly educated people who are very positive. You're not going to get a negative word out of them. They're really happy. And we do a great job of getting them out in your community and other places so that they can speak from direct experience. I went to Ding Darling. This is exactly what it was like. Super people, and please, if you interact with them, tell them how grateful you are for the time that they donate to us. It's about $1 million a year in salary, their time, so a very, very important number to us. We also have a customer service training program. I call every interaction a visitor has a touch point. I want every touch point from the time their feet hit the ground at RSW until they leave to be a positive interaction. Good customer service means we have repeat visitors, and so we have a customer service training program we call Guests First. If you have an employee who's struggling with customer service, send them to our free customer service training program. It's worth it, I promise. I realize it's time away from the office, but it's a great way to get them really, really focused on providing the very best in customer service. Tomorrow we will be honoring people who have been nominated for quality customer service. We call that the program that we'll hold tomorrow, the Elaine McLaughlin Hospitality Customer Service Awards. We shorten that to E. Everybody called Elaine E in the office, so it's the E Awards. And Elaine had my job a few years before me. There was one person, two people between us actually, but she was one of my mentors, a very fabulous person. And not only do we name it after her, but she joins us every year to congratulate all the nominees. We have over 700 people nominated through that program in our community this year that we will be honoring tomorrow. Big room. And then there's administration. We got to pay the bills, keep things organized, run the TDC meetings, post things on the web, all the things you know. But the bulk of what we do, where most of the money spent, is marketing, communications, and sales. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. This slide, I don't intend for you to read it. I just want you to know, the week after Hurricane Ian, I had a 4-step plan. We are stuck in step 3. Because step 4 means we're fully recovered. Everything's open, back in business, ready to go. Visitors can come with 100% confidence. We have had 3 or 4 now iterations of phase 3, but the point of this conversation is we know we're going to have challenges in our community. We know we're going to have crisis, and we have deep and wide plans to address these challenges. I'm going to show you a few marketing highlights. So social media and content creation, I have to look at my notes. We do so much of this, I can't keep up, which is a good thing. So forgive me. But these are some recent influencers that we hosted and the content that they've been posting. The most recent collaboration, see now you'll know why I need my notes, was with a woman named Brie Maison. And her Instagram account is Florida Yoga Mama, and she was here on Saturday, August 16th, and showing yoga on the beach at the Sanibel Inn. And so you can see some of that, what that looks like in our social media efforts. I will remind you at the end, I will post the social media handle for the VCB. Follow, share, like, keep it going. That's how social media works. Don't tell me you don't like social media, I don't care. Do it. You need to do it. You need to do it for your business. And, if you don't know how or want to do it, hire a teenager. They can do anything. Yeah, it's funny, I always had my own. I have a Gen Z, but she's getting old. She's gonna be 30 next year, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to hire I'm gonna have to mentor someone much younger so I can stay hip and keep up. I'm going to share with you a couple of our promotions and integrated packages. We really like to do multi-layer things. That way we hit people not once, but over and over and over again with our message. And so in honor of the first day of summer, a date we have coined National Seashell Day, self-named. This is what marketing people do, we make stuff up. But to the benefit of Sanibel Island, the United States now has a National Seashell Day, and we are the National Seashell Capital of America. So we did a satellite media tour, and I'm gonna show you a clip, but more importantly, I want you to know we did various segments with representatives. We did it at the Shell Museum, and I'm gonna show you one of those clips, but that day we recorded a whole bunch of sessions. Some of them aired immediately, some of them were aired on National Seashell Day, but 974 airings for over 85 million people in the United States were exposed to this content. It's pretty amazing. And you know what our message was? Sandcap's back.
Love to learn more about Sanibel Island. Bob, what experiences can someone enjoy there?
So this is Bob Rando, if you don't know,
I mean, for me,
Captiva
it's just
Cruises.
the water. You gotta be on the water. You don't get to experience an island until you see it from the water, and that's what we do. We take people out on these fantastic boat tours. One of the trips we do is we go to Cayo Costa State Park, and that's our shelling excursion. You know, we talked a little bit about Sanibel and National Seashell Day. Sanibel's known worldwide as the place to go looking for seashells. Cayo Costa is like Sanibel, but you can get to it only by boat. You can drive to Sanibel, but you just have that feeling of being like on an uninhabited island, and the shells are all yours. There's a lot less competition looking for shells on Cayo Costa. The water right now is so beautiful. Maybe it's just heightened awareness because of all the excitement going on the islands right now with so many things opening. We have so many resorts opening, restaurants opening, attractions opening. So maybe it's the heightened awareness. But driving over the causeway this morning and seeing the color of the water really got me so excited. I have a trip I'm doing later on today that I'm really excited for, a sunset cruise. So we do sunset cruises, we do dolphin watch cruises, we do trips to fantastic destinations like Cabbage Key, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Just an unbelievable experience to go there, and a really private experience to go to a place called Seppa Island, which is awesome.
So just an example, again, interviewed a bunch of different people from the community to talk about the tourism experience here. This one happened to air in Seattle, Washington, so just deep and wide promoting this area. Okay, he's giving me, oh man, I'm slow. We're gonna have to go faster. All right, some content on Midwest Living. I've got the Today Show. We got 2 opportunities to provide a trip to the area for recipients. I'm gonna skip over it, but we're on with Jenna and these lovely ladies who were, I'm gonna skip, were military wives. They all stationed together in Hawaii, and they won a trip to Isla Din. It was featured on the Today Show. New York Times custom content. We have a digital visitor guide. That guide is available to you. It's available on our website, visit fortmyers.com. You can share that with your clients. You can post a link to it on your website. It is great. I'm going to show you just real quick a little content from it, but you can see what it looks like. It talks about every area within the community, all the things to do. I call it an enticement tool, but it's really beautiful. Digitally, we update it every 6 months. Last year we launched our Just Feels Right campaign, and the idea around it is that the vacation here just feels right, and it's all about the emotions that you feel when you are in the area. And I'm going to show you
sometimes our days feel never ending.
I'm gonna skip that one. Commercials.
We just don't connect like this anywhere else.
Are you tickling my feet?
Things get pretty steamy.
So a little bit of humor, a little bit of overview. That one's speaking to couples. Another one, a little more mature couples.
Our favorite thing about Fort Myers, it really expands our horizons.
Very eye-opening.
get a little feel for it. Big effort around PR, communications. So on the paid side, we buy media. On the PR side, we host journalists, work with travel writers, provide information, and get free media. And as you can guess, an article written by a travel writer probably has a lot more value than a paid ad. People take more seriously the travel writer that they're used to reading in their local paper or the magazine that they enjoy. So here's some recent coverage, some coverage, and I'm gonna go super fast. 21 best beaches in Condé Nast, Southern Living, 10 best things to do on Captiva Island, another Southern Living, Sheller's Paradise, best beach town of the South. We host media. This is a media visit in the area, and then a bunch of coverage, and I want to give you this number. See, again, this is why I need my notes, because these numbers grow all the time. Tell you what the number is. Since the beginning of this year, our efforts in, there have been 180 articles written about Sandcap and 3.4 billion impressions. Just an idea. Not paid media, earned media. We also have sales activities, and this is a German tour operator FAM that we hosted. Actually, it was six tour operator representatives from Germany and from Switzerland, and this was some of the things that they experienced on Sandcap while they were in town. There is nothing like them being able to say to their client, I was just there. We also have a UK consumer campaign that mentions the area. We've been really busy with product development, new murals all throughout the community. This is a way to get people to explore. Also takes some pressure off of your road system. At the height of season, other things to do in the area, which I think you will appreciate. This is the latest one. It's out in Matlacha, but you see the Sandcap one up in the left. It's on the Sandcap chamber, and we have 8 of them now spread all throughout the community, and we're real excited about that project. We call this placemaking, and we're really excited about doing placemaking. Another thing we've done is we've added webcams throughout the county. And I can tell you this is the most visited section of my website, so if you're looking to enhance visits to your website, add a webcam. We have several passports that we put together. It's an app called Bamwango. We've developed a bunch of them. One of them is the Sanibel Wild Mile, and since it launched, I think I can't remember if it was April or May, but I think there's been over 800 downloads of it already. And there's a Sun Saver passport. People are still looking for bargains. Economy's a little tight for some people, so bargains are always appreciated. That's kind of a deals app. And then we have one that encourages them to explore parks. Next we support a lot of event marketing, but we host one event, a big one, a 10-day Songwriter Festival. First weekend is September 19th on Captiva, shifts for a couple of days to Cape Coral, and then a couple of days in downtown Fort Myers, and concludes on Fort Myers Beach. If you have not experienced Island Hopper Songwriter Fest, you're missing out. It is really a special experience, and it most importantly brings people here when we need business most. Chris Young is our headliner. He will perform on the last day at Pink Shell. Lots and lots and lots of #1 hits, so look Chris up if you like him. All right, what's next? This is the good stuff. So, under construction, 2 properties inland, 2 properties on Sanibel. I know you're familiar, but I'm going to show you this video. Ooh, I thought it was going to play. Maybe. All right, here we go. This is the Shalimar.
Shalimar was built in 1959, and they stood strong until Hurricane Ian in 2022 pretty much wiped the slate clean, and we had to get to work right away to start over to rebuild this family resort. There's quite a bit of differences. I mean, we have the same number of units. We had 33 prior, we have 33 now, but obviously everything's elevated up to FEMA flood. So we have duplexes now. We've got 1-bedroom villas, we have 2-bedroom villas, and then we have 21 hotel studio units. Every one of those has a full kitchen in it. We have a rooftop terrace where you can come and watch the sunrise and sunset, so that's different. We have got a Gulf front saltwater pool. everything is kind of changed as far as the layout. It's going to be the newest resort on Sanibel Island. This is the first rebuild from the ground up in over 40 years. Come to Sanibel, we're back. We're going to be thriving. 2026 is going to be strong. I mean, we're going to have a great season. The weather's incredible. I mean, the water is just beautiful. There's so much to do on Sanibel Island in Southwest Florida. We have just wildlife. I mean, the island's 70% sanctuary wildlife island. There's just nothing else like it. I mean, there's a true gem here, and we're so excited to get back open.
So if you haven't heard, that property opens on September 28th, and we couldn't be more excited. You know, new construction on Sanibel, those words don't always go together, and certainly from an accommodation standpoint, you know, truly the first ground up full new product to offer here in the area. Also under construction is the White Pelican. It's on the site of the former Beachview cottages. It will be 22 units, and you see they're pretty far along on that construction. If you haven't been by, I suspect most of you have, but that is a property that's affiliated with the folks at Tweenwater, Sanibel Captiva Beach Resort. So thank you, Tony Lappy, for your investment in our community. Can't wait for that one to open. I think early 26, and of course, just on the other side of it, the top edge of that, you see you know, what was, why can I, man, I just blanked, apologies, West Wind Inn, and I know Tony is working on plans for that property as well, so stay tuned. But it's great to have these two products coming back. There are a lot of proposed projects. Sandy is going to rebuild the Captiva Island Inn. Blue Dolphin is looking at 9 new units. I know that's been before the city council, and I think they're in the process of responding. Island Cow, this is the proposed Island Cow, which also has some vacation rental residences proposed on that site. We'll see how that project goes. I'm not saying anything's approved. I'm telling you what's out there. You guys probably know better than I do. I probably missed some. My last request, brag, brag, brag. If you have something negative to say, please do not post it on social media. If some dead fish roll up on the beach, please do not post it on social media. That stuff is wildfire. People, we live in a negative world. We love trash. Do not share trash. You live in this community, you're proud of it. Every word that comes out of your mouth on social media should be positive. Yes, there's traffic. Yes, life's hard. Yes, the rebuild's slow. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. And I'm sorry. I'll give you a big hug, and we can drink it out if you want. Let's do that between ourselves and not post it online. The world is watching. That's it. Sorry. I apologize for going quick. I'm always talking much.
Thank you so much. Lots of great information there. I'm going to find my president's report somewhere for you. Here we go. Okay, on your table, you'll see the September license renewal program, 16 hours of continuing ed, covering 3 days, 4 classes, which include core law, code of ethics, fair housing, and the environmental considerations of coastal